Welcome to the Storage Solutions Podcast. Today we have Chad Boehne talking about material flow consulting and how it can help warehouses, distribution centers, and really just about any intralogistics operations. The following is a previously recorded interview released to you in an audio-only format.
Chad Boehne, Director of Material Flow Consulting. I've been with SSI for next month will be 2 years. Prior to my current role, I lead all consultations here. I was Director of Automation Engineering, so led all of the solution design for our clients. Prior to SSI, I have a pretty broad range of experience. I was at Redwood Materials, where I led logistics for that startup, which is an EV battery recycler startup. Prior to that, I was at FedEx Supply Chain for almost 5 years. I led North American fulfillment operations customer service for them, for the country, so multiple sites there. And prior to that, I did 6 years at Amazon.com and 5 different locations, global experience there, everything from inbound, outbound, reverse logistics, you name it. I did it all at Amazon.
Now, when talking about material flow consultations, we have a brochure on our website's downloads page. But what exactly goes into a consultation?
Yeah, so we have 3 different levels of consultations that we offer. They're called Optimize, Analyze, and Materialize. Optimize is kind of your entry-level, very high-level conceptualization of offerings. So let's say a customer comes to us and they just want to see some ideas that are out there. They want us to look at their floor plan, draw on some high-level sketches of what a future solution could look like, minimal data analysis, and high-level ROM costing. The second one is Analyze. Analyze is for customers that maybe don't have data analysts on staff or they're lacking in their analytics capability. We will crunch all the numbers and essentially show that customer, here's what your data is telling us. Here are 3, 4, 5 different options. Materialize is the highest level of consultation. Significant data analysis, CAD drawings to scale, 3D renderings if needed. And again, because we're vendor agnostic, we will show usually at least 2 different automated solutions, as well as storage solutions, sometimes 3. Complex timelines, complex project management schedules, very tight costing, as tight as we can get, that they could use for budgetary purposes for, say, an upcoming fiscal year. I think that's about it.
To get the most comprehensive data, the most tailored approach to a business's goal or goals, what can they expect cost-wise from a consultation?
So for costing, Optimize starts at $10,000 for Optimize, usually in the $10,000 to $20,000 range. Analyze is usually in the $20,000 to $40,000 range, and Materialize starts at $40,000 and goes however far it needs to go. So at minimum for Optimize, you're going to get 1 automation engineer. We'll come to the site, we will take a bunch of pictures, ask a bunch of questions, take a bunch of notes, then you get the output of the consultation. For Analyze, usually in the 4 to 12 week range, depending on how much data there is to analyze. That's going to be generally at least 1 automation engineer, potentially a senior automation engineer. Again, just depending on how complex the data is. Also a site visit there. I will fly out with the team just to talk through everything, oversee how the consultation is going. And then for Materialize, we will devote as much resources to Materialize as we need to. So this could be 1 engineer, myself, 3 engineers, whatever the consultation needs, that's what we will apply to it. And timeline, you're looking anywhere from 8 to 16 weeks. Our solutions engineers would design everything in the consultation, and then we would hand it off to our implementation team for the actual execution of the project.
And that's all in-house?
All in-house.
Wow.
We handle everything turnkey. For storage solutions specifically, when a customer comes for us for a consultation, they'll work for us from beginning to end if they choose to. So we can do everything from the overall solution design, the data analysis, CAD layouts to scale renderings, etc. And then assuming that they decide to move forward with us as the integrator, we will then move it over to our implementation team, who again just works with the same people that the customer has already been working with. We hand it off to the execution team, and we're going to be hand in hand the entire way throughout the process. There's no breakdown in communication because it's all handled in-house.
Okay, but why should anyone look into a consultation?
There are a lot of reasons that customers reach out to us. The most common that we run into is, I need to reduce my variable labor cost. That's number one. Number two is, I'm out of room. I can't go any higher. I can't go any wider. I don't know how to utilize my cubic capacity better. Number three would be, this is relatively common, I know we need to automate. I have no idea where to start. I've watched all these YouTube videos and I'm lost. Can you please help us? So I would say those are the most common that people reach out to us. There's a little bit of, I think I know what I want, but I'm not sure. Can you make us a roadmap so we can put it into next year's budget cycle? So for example, I don't need anything implemented this year, but I'm planning for my budget cycle or my fiscal year that starts wherever 6 months down the road. And they want a cost, a tight cost, and a timeline, because they then need to take that to senior leadership and say, here is this automated solution, here is the design, here's the concept, here's the overall cost, etc. They can bake that into their fiscal planning and get it approved. I would say a third of our consultations are, I'm going to put it into our budget cycle for next year, and we're going to put it out for RFP. And because we're also an integrator and we can operate turnkey, we will be included in that RFP process. But then, especially for larger corporations, they generally require at least 3 bids for anything that size. So we would bid, plus we'd have a couple competitors out there to bid.
Okay, but is there any benefit for a solution integrator to do a consultation over another business with their own manufactured products?
Yeah, so for us, we're more about building a long-term partnership than getting a quick sale. And because we're vendor agnostic, we're not driven by a goal of selling our product over somebody else's. So even though we're owned by a huge firm in the intralogistics industry, we're not forced to sell certain brands. So when a customer comes to us and says, hey, I think I need a goods-to-person solution or a pallet shuttle or what have you, we know all the players in the market. We've worked with the majority of them, and we're going to crunch their data and go back to the customer and say, maybe you don't need this solution. Maybe the right solution could be semi-automated. A lot of customers want a fully automated building with as few people in it as possible, but then when we look at the data and we show them the options out there, we will tailor it to say, you should probably look at this route based on your data and your ROI needs or your financial requirements. So I think from our end, where we're unique is we bring a ton of real-world experience to the table, and we are going to recommend the right solution, not one that we are required to recommend.
How does Storage Solutions conduct consultations differently?
Yeah, I would say one difference that I've seen, because I used to be the customer when I was at FedEx and Amazon, I used to work with. And one of the big frustrations I would have as a customer is I would be dealing with a really nice salesperson, but they didn't have real world experience. So whenever they would be trying to tell me what I should do with my building, it could get frustrating at times because I could tell that they didn't actually know what they were talking about. So I think one of the things that's different with Storage Solutions is we took a different approach to who should be providing a consultation. And those people should be very experienced in the operation. Like myself, I've got over a decade of experience running large-scale operations at the global level. So we take a realistic approach to solutions design. We don't make or draft a solution that looks great on paper. We actually deliver solutions that I would be comfortable as the general manager leading on day one. If I wouldn't be comfortable leading that building myself, I don't allow the solution to move forward.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Chad, and thank you, listeners, for joining us today. If you have any questions about material flow consultations, whether that's for your warehouse, distribution centers, fulfillment facilities, head on over to storagesolutions.com to get started.